evening. Welcome to Delta Television Main News. My name is Pauline Okule. As his administration approaches its first anniversary on May 29, President Bola Tinubu has embarked on a nationwide project commissioning spree showcasing his government's achievements in infrastructure development. President Tinubu, who departed Abuja for Lagos yesterday, will inaugurate several projects including the concrete paved road to Apapa and Tinkan Island ports, the refurbished Third Mainland Bridge, and the rehabilitation of 330 roads and bridges across the country today. According to a statement issued yesterday by Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, the President will also today virtually inaugurate the iconic Lagos-Calabar Superhighway, a legacy project estimated to cost around 15 trillion naira. The project will connect 9 coastal states. Upon his return to Abuja on Tuesday, the President will commission the Southern Parkway, named after him by the FCT administration, and unveil the National Assembly complex, also named in his honor. On Wednesday, President Tinubu will attend the National Assembly Dialogue Series, after which he will unveil the National Assembly Library Complex and later go to relaunch the commercialization of the Abuja Light Rail, also known as Abuja Metro, with a symbolic train ride to the city center. First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has warned that Nigerian children are at risk of losing their identity if necessary steps are not taken to make amends. She gave the warning at an event tagged Celebrating the Nigerian Woman, organized as part of activities to mark President Bola Tinubu's first year in office. The event was specially put together to recognize women that have made significant contributions in their various spheres of life, communities, and in the nation at large. First Lady Tinubu emphasized the importance of women as the foundations of the home and society, stressing the need to continue nurturing children and instilling good morals while preserving cultural and traditional values. She expressed concern that without intervention, the current state of the society could lead to children losing their identity. The First Lady urged women to be the unifying forces in their homes and communities to drive greater prosperity for the nation. She encouraged other women to draw inspiration from the legacies of pioneering women who have paved the way. She urged them to continue to draw from the lessons of the pioneers who have paved the way and built on the legacies they have left behind. She urged everyone to contribute their quota and pray for President Bola Tinubu and the nation until Nigeria reaches the promised land, which she referred to as El Dorado. The First Lady thanked all mothers in the country and those who have been touching lives in countless ways for their love, strength, and unending sacrifices. Meanwhile, the wife of the Vice President, Nana Shettima, has described Mrs. Tinubu as an embodiment of experience, having served as First Lady of Lagos State for 8 years, Senator of the Federal Republic for 8 years, and now the First Lady of the country. Mrs. Shettima described her as an embodiment of humility, zeal, passion, commitment, and sincerity of purpose, and thanked God for blessing the country with her. She pointed out that the First Lady is a role model, assuring her of support. The wife of the Vice President charged the First Ladies of the various states to tap from Mrs. Tinubu's wealth of experience. Wife of former Head of State Victoria Gowon, in his remarks, stressed that until women unite, Nigeria will go nowhere. She said if women unite and begin to mentor others, Nigeria will one day produce a female president. As part of activities to mark the first anniversary of Governor Sheriff Oborowori, a Thanksgiving service was held today at the Living Faith Church, Ibuzo Road, Asaba. Ejime Udweme reports.
The Thanksgiving with Team 1 year of advancing data was attended by Governor Sheriff Oborowori and his wife, Dickiness Tobore, his deputy, Samonde Onyeme, and wife, Catherine. Immediate past governor, Senator Ifeanyi Okowa, and his wife, Dame Edith, former Governor Emmanuel Odwanga, two former deputy governors, Deacon Kingsley Otuaro and Chief Benjamin Elue, Senator Joel Onowakpo Thomas, Deputy Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Honorable Arthur Akpowowo and wife, among other dignitaries. Speaking at the service, Governor Oborevwori said he decided to commence the anniversary with thanksgiving because God was the one that gave him the opportunity to be elected among many qualified debtors. Governor Oborevwori said his administration has turned the state to a huge construction site with 317 ongoing road projects in the last 1 year. He said out of the 317 projects, a total of 76 roads with a cumulative length of 171.49 kilometers and 85.30 kilometers length of drains were initiated by his administration. He said his administration had surpassed expectations and confounded his critics by keeping faith in advancing Delta State in all aspects of socio-economic development. He commended his deputy, Sir Monday Onyeme, and all Deltans for their support, promising to be the governor for all.
The past 1 year has been one of trials and triumphs, texts and testimonies, and adversities and good. Through it all, God has been faithful.
In a sermon, the state mission overseer of the Living Faith Church, Pastor Adekunle Shinabande, said the only way up was giving regular thanksgiving to God. Pastor Shinabande said King David in the Bible said because he was a pathfinder in thanksgiving, why King Nebuchadnezzar was dethroned by God because he ascribed his victory to himself. He commended Governor Oborevwori for deciding to thank God as his administration clocked 1 year and urged him not to relent in maintaining cordial relationship with God.
That means when anything fails or anything's trying to fail in your life, in your marriage, in your career, in the work of your hand, is standing by to help you. May somebody in this house receive the help of the Holy Spirit today.
Pastor Shinabande attributed the successes of the present administration to divine direction from God and called on the governor and his team to redouble their trust in God. The governor and his wife, Tobori, were later joined by guests to make special thanksgiving to God. Highlights were cutting of anniversary cake and presentation of food items to the vulnerable individuals in the church by the governor's wife, Deaconess Tobori. Ejime Uduime reporting.
The State Deputy Governor, Sir Monday Onyeme, has commended the member representing the Ndokwa-Akwani Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives, Honorable Nnamdi Ezechi, for providing effective representation to his constituents. Sir Onyeme stated this during the presentation of starter parks to beneficiaries of the Honorable Nnamdi Ezechi Empowerment Program for hairdressing and barbing, tailoring and tricycle drivers at Kwale, Ndokwa West Local Government Area. Pere Butu reports.
The Deputy Governor said Honorable Nnamdi Ezechi had proved himself to be a worthy representative, putting the welfare of his constituents first, noting that in less than 1 year of his election as the member representing Ndokwa-Akwani Federal Constituency, he has done remarkably well. He noted that some persons were skeptical if Honorable Nnamdi Ezechi would live up to expectations, noting that he had given the people effective representation through robust debates on bills and motions, oversight functions, and empowerment. The Deputy Governor described Honorable Nnamdi Ezechi as one of the best 10 federal lawmakers who had been vocal and always attracting development to his constituency. Sir Oyeme advised beneficiaries to use the empowerment items to promote their skills and enhance their economic well-being and warned against selling the items. The Deputy Governor urged leaders at the various wards to monitor the beneficiaries to ensure they make judicious use of the empowerment items to better their lives and contribute meaningfully to the local economy.
Please and please, do not sell, just like my brother said. Nobody should sell these items. Use them, go sharpen your skill more. Use them, go promote your trade. Okay? When you do well in your business, people will recognize it. And people will be encouraged to help you more.
While admonishing the beneficiaries not to despise their days of little beginning, Sir Oyeme said some of the big businessmen and women in the country today started small but grew to become household names. He affirmed that the Borowori administration would continue to provide platforms for empowerment, infrastructural development, and human capital development in line with the MORE agenda. The member representing Ndokwa Ukwan Federal constituency in the House of Representatives, Honorable Nnamdi Ezechi, said the beneficiaries drawn from the various wards were trained in the area of the empowerment. He pledged his commitment to give them effective representation through robust lawmaking, oversight function, and empowerment, and urged the beneficiaries to make judicious use of the items to improve their living standard.
You were nominated not by Nnamdi Ezechi. You are nominated across board from the leadership in your ward. Please, my advice to you is to make judicious use of items given to you.
Also speaking, the member representing Ndokwa East constituency in the State House of Assembly, Honorable Emeka Osamuta, and the Commissioner for Urban Renewal, Engineer Michael Anoka, lauded Honorable Nnamdi Ezechi for the empowerment program and appealed to the beneficiaries to use the items purposefully. One of the beneficiaries, Mr. Prince Aga, thanked Honorable Ezechi for impacting their lives by giving them means to fend for themselves and their families.
On behalf of all beneficiaries of this Artisan Empowerment Program, he's saying a big thank you to Right Honorable Nnamdi Ezechi for bringing this program to our domain.
The highlight of the event was the presentation of the starter packs, including tricycles, sewing machines, hair and barbing salon accessories, as well as generators to the beneficiaries by the Deputy Governor, Sir Monday Oyeme, and other dignitaries. I am Pere Botu reporting.
President Bola Tinubu has approved the release of 5% of all federal government social intervention programs to senior citizens. The Director General of the National Senior Citizen Center, NSCC, Ms. M.M. Omokaro, disclosed this today in Abuja. Ms. Omokaro, speaking on the one-year anniversary of Tinubu-led administration, expressed gratitude to the President for the gesture, stressing that it will go a long way in addressing the challenges of the elderly. She said interventions will be tailored to various programs designed by the NSCC, which had considered the need assessments of senior citizens. The NSCC Director General said it would ensure that older people were catered for and included in their capacity, adding that in the population of older persons, there were women and persons with disabilities, and the center had developed programs to ensure that they were not discriminated against. Even as the agency had also initiated programs to improve the quality of life of senior citizens in the country. She noted that the NSCC had yet to access the 5% intervention pledge due to restructuring in the sector. All members of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) in the state have been advised to uphold ideas that will strengthen peace and boost the party's fortune in the forthcoming local government elections. The senior political advisor to the governor, Senator Emmanuel Agwara-Odo, gave the advice when some members of Ward 9 in Enwe, in Isoko South, staged a peaceful protest to Government House Asaba over the outcome of the councillorship primaries. Senator Agwara-Odo, who commended them for the peaceful protest, assured them that their requests will be channeled to the appropriate quarters for consideration. He called on all to redouble support for Governor Sheriff Oborevwori for the accelerated transformation of the state. The Benue State government has established a Department of Public Order in its Ministry of Justice to coordinate government policies and matters relating to public order. Among the activities outlawed by the new order are prostitution, child labor, and night crawling beyond 10 p.m. The Public Order Department was vetted on Friday through an executive order declaration by the Governor, Reverend Father Hyacinth Alia. Governor Alia said the executive order was pursuant to Section 14, subsection 2 of the Constitution and Section 10 of the Public Order Act. According to the law, any breach of the prescribed public rules will amount to sanctions, including not less than 20,000 naira and not more than 500,000 naira, or an imprisonment depending on the gravity of the offense. The governor has also prohibited all acts of violation of public order in the state and called for strict adherence to the laws. The prescribed public misconducts include disobedience to traffic rules, child labor and exploitation, all forms of prostitution, indiscriminate dumping of refuse on road dividers, open defecation and urination, demanding for matching ground levy from developers, and building on water channels or erecting structures, kiosks, or shanties on the right of way, as well as hawking or selling of goods of any kind by the roadside or on the road. The Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission has said President Bola Tinubu's credit scheme will help close the gap and reduce the vulnerability of Nigerians to unethical digital loan companies. The acting executive vice chairman of FCCPC, Dr. Adamu Abdullahi, stated this today in Abuja. Dr. Abdullahi, reacting to unethical practices by some unregistered digital money lenders towards their customers, said the scheme would grant Nigerians access to soft loans without collateral. He stated that the scheme would also help to reduce the rate at which Nigerians patronize unregistered loan applications prone to naming and shaming their character. The acting executive vice chairman said that though the commission had registered some digital money lenders, many unregistered lenders had continued their unethical practices against customers. On the commission's achievements in the past year, Dr. Abdullahi said that it had begun investigations into some unfair practices and irregularities in the market. Dr. Abdullahi noted that advocacy was a major hindrance for the commission and that the FCCPC was planning to have its presence in all the 774 local government areas of the country. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has arrested a 48-year-old Paris, France-bound businessman Emmanuel Okechukwu Jinze at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. NDLEA noted that he excreted 111 wraps of cocaine. Spokesman of the agency, Mr. Femi Babafemi, who disclosed this, said the businessman excreted the wraps of cocaine after days of observation in the agency's custody following his arrest. Mr. Okechukwu, who also claimed to be a professional footballer in Europe, was arrested on Tuesday, 21st of May, during the outward clearance of Air France flight AF 878 from Abuja to Paris, France. After a body scan confirmed that he ingested illicit drugs, he was taken into custody, where he excreted a total of 111 pellets of cocaine that weighed 1.603 kilograms over 3 days. The suspect claimed that he does business in the maritime sector while scouting for any European football club to engage him. In the same vein, NDLEA officers operating at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, NMIA Ikeja, Lagos, have dismantled another drug trafficking syndicate at the airport. Also was the arrest of 4 members of the network and the seizure of a total of 8 kilograms of methamphetamine and 7.6 kilogram of loud, a synthetic strain of cannabis imported from South Africa. The lid was blown off the syndicate when an official within the airport system was intercepted with a backpack and a bag at the departure hall of Terminal 1 of the airport by NDLE officers with the support of aviation security officers on Tuesday, 21st of May 2024. A search of the bags led to the discovery of the illicit substances. A swift follow-up operation at the Ajao Estate area of Lagos led to the arrest of 2 other members of the syndicate, Chris Mwadozie and Chinedu Nwosu. Further investigation led to the arrest of another member of the cartel working within the airport system on Saturday, 25th of May. The former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has blamed the crisis in the Kano Emirate on the Bola Tinubu administration. Mr. Abubakar, in a statement by spokesperson Mr. Paul Ibe, said the federal government deployed security forces to assist a claimant to the stool of the Emir of Kano, who has been deposed. The statement noted that the former Emir could not have made his way into the Nasarawa Palace without the support of the federal government, having done so with the support of the army and other security personnel in his company. He added that the deployment of soldiers in extra-constitutional matters such as this undermines the integrity of the Nigerian military. The statement recalled how the Kano government sacked the 5 emirs in the state, including Aminu Ado Bayero, who was the emir of Kano. The government then reinstated Lamidi Sanusi, who was deposed in 2020 as the emir of Kano, noting that both Mr. Sanusi and Mr. Ado Bayero currently lay claim to the title. He said the action of the federal government in deploying soldiers to Kano and the tussle over the throne of the ancient city is a threat to the peace and security of the state, and also in breach of the 1999 Constitution as amended. In performing their constitutional duties of lawmaking, the Kano State House of Assembly KSHA passed the amended Kano State Emirate Council Repeal Bill 2024 in consonance with the provision of Section 4 of the Constitution of 1999 as amended, whereas the Governor of Kano State, Kabi Yusuf, subsequently signed into law the said bill. Kingmakers of Kano reappointed Sanusi Lamido Sanusi as the 16th Emir of Kano State and accordingly handed him a letter of appointment. Let's now join our business news desk for happenings in the business sector.
The International Payment Data of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, says Nigeria's letter of credit payment have plummeted by 63% in the first quarter of 2024 compared to the same period in the previous year. The total letter of credit payments made through official channels for the first quarter of this year was $204.47 million, reflecting a shortfall of $344.75 million compared to first quarter of last year, which was $549.22 million. This significant decrease highlights the challenges the country faces in its international trade and financial transactions. Breaking this down, January 2023 recorded payments of $107.78 million, followed by an increase in February 2023, where payments reached $171.95 million. March 2023 saw the highest payment for the quarter, totaling $269.49 million. A letter of credit is a mode of payment for the importation of visible goods. As requested by the customer, the bank promises in writing to pay the exporter a certain sum within a certain time frame in return for goods, as long as the customer provides the bank with the proper paperwork. It will be recalled that the CBN extended the timeline for the issuance of letters of credit from 24 hours to 5 working days as the country continues to struggle with foreign exchange scarcity. The CBN Governor, Yemi Cardozo, said that the decreasing reserves were primarily due to debt repayment and other standard financial obligations rather than efforts to defend the naira. In the period under review, the CBN started selling dollars to Bureau de Change Operators, BDCs, in February 2024. The Apex Bank made another sale in March but reduced the allocation by 50% and sold foreign exchange at a rate of 1,251 naira per dollar. In addition, Nigeria spent about $1.12 billion on foreign debt service payments, an increase of 39.7%. The 63% reduction in letters of credit could have several implications for Nigeria's economy. Letters of credit are crucial components of international trade, assuring exporters that they will receive payment. A sharp decline in such payments could indicate decreased import activity, which might be a result of foreign exchange shortages, stricter import regulations, or other economic constraints. Nigeria's gross domestic product (GDP) in the first quarter of 2024 grew by 2.98%, higher than the 2.31% seen in the first quarter of 2023. On a quarterly basis, GDP growth declined from 3.46% recorded in the first quarter of 2023 when compared to the current rate of 2.98%. According to the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS), GDP growth in first quarter was driven by the services sector, which grew by 4.32% and contributed 58.04% to the aggregate GDP. Motor vehicle assembly was a surprise in the top 10 as the sector grew by 4.6% in the first quarter of 2024. Ironically, this growth is slower than the 4.93% recorded in the previous quarter. The road transport sector grew by 5.58% in the first quarter of 2024, representing a rebound after a 33.76% decline in the fourth quarter of 2023. Crude, petroleum, and natural gas sector grew by 5.70% in the quarter under review, representing a decline from the fourth quarter of 2023, where it saw a growth of 12.11%. There was a 5.93% growth in transport services sector for the first quarter of 2024, an improvement from the 3.42% recorded in the previous quarter. The telecommunications sector witnessed a growth of 6.23% during the quarter. This, however, marks a marginal decline when compared to the 6.93% growth recorded in the last quarter of 2023. Growth in water supply, sewage, and waste management sector declined from 7.44% recorded in the first quarter of 2023 to 6.95% in the first quarter of 2024. The insurance industry in the financial services sector grew from 8.27% in the first quarter of 2023 to 8.34% in the period under review. Financial institutions saw a whopping growth of 33.30% in the first quarter of 2024. However, growth increased slightly from 31.44% recorded in the preceding quarter. Rail transport and pipelines sector saw a turnaround in growth from a contraction of minus 1.97% in full year 2023 to 66.63% in the first 3 months of the year. The metal hours sector saw a rebound from a negative growth of minus 17.39% in the last 3 months of 2023 to plus 114.35% in the first quarter of 2024. This positions metal hours as the fastest growing sector in the Nigerian economy in the first quarter of 2024.
In sports, 5-time world champions Nigeria and 3-time world champions Ghana were eliminated from the WAFU B Under-17 Championship at the semi-final stage yesterday, with Burkina Faso getting the better of the host nation and the baby elephants of Côte d'Ivoire narrowly sending the Eaglets packing. Burkina Faso was the first team in the final after a 2-1 defeat of the Black Starlets. In the second semi-final, rampaging Côte d'Ivoire scored through Youba Koulibaly in the 54th minute, and that strike separated both teams at the University of Accra Stadium. It was a tough battle for the Eaglets as the baby elephants showed greater composure and hunger for the final ticket, and goalkeeper Dominic Chinedu came to the Eagles' rescue on several occasions. Nigeria's under-17 team had progressed from the group stage without conceding a goal and scoring 4, but the Baby Elephants were the more aggressive of offensive from the off yesterday. The result means that the Golden Eaglets have failed to qualify for next year's Africa Under-17 Cup of Nations, where Africa's flag bearers at next year's FIFA Under-17 World Cup finals will emerge. Still on sports, the head coach of the Republic of Benin, Geno Roa, has unveiled a 25-man squad for his size 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifying fixtures against Rwanda and Nigeria. Roa, who was previously in charge of the Super Eagles, named 19 foreign-based players and 6 local stars in the squad. Experienced forward Stevie Mooney, Nigerian-born duo Ayegun Tosin and Samson Akinyola are among the players listed by the German tactician. The Squirrels are winless in Group C and must win the 2 upcoming fixtures to boost their chances of qualifying for the World Cup for the first time. Roa's side will host Group C leaders Amavubi of Rwanda at the Stade Felix Houphouët-Boigny on Thursday, June 6. They will also entertain neighbors Nigeria at the same venue 4 days later. Our thoughts for the day. People are like books. Some deceive you with their cover, while others surprise you with their content. And that's our news tonight on Delta Television. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Pauline Okoli. Good night.